Okay, good morning. Let's climb up the timber trail together. Maybe it's called the Kimmons Trail down here, I don't know. Kimmons Timber. Lory State Park. I'm going to adjust this a little bit. A little higher so you guys get a better view. It's kind of a cool ride. We'll climb up to into the trees basically. Down in the grass right now. And views are cool. Hopefully I make it up without dabbing. For all my friends. I'm trying to grunt less on this video so no one gives me grief about that. So it's been an eventful morning. My neighbor called in a panic. She had a 4-foot snake in her house. So I don't know why people. Do I look like a snake wrangler? A lot of my friends call me when stuff like that goes on. Okay. So, yeah. So anyways, got the snake. I got some video of it too. It's pretty cool. Pretty fun morning. And then I have a prairie dog problem. One has started a colony at my house. So they're cute. I like a prairie dog. Not the only thing cuter is a golden retriever puppy. But they're notorious for plague and diseases that really can be lethal. Other animals and even humans. Tularemia. And they're just hell on the landscape. I mean, they dig tunnels. This guy already has 3 tunnels, and they say if a colony gets established, 35 tunnels. And so I called the county. And I said, you know, what do I got to do here? And they said, well, you can apply for a permit to relocate them and trap them. But currently don't have anyone who's accepting prairie dogs. That's understandable. So they said best thing to do is to shoot them if you can. So unfortunately, Mr. Prairie Dog is being hunted right now. So I'm sorry about it. But yeah. I was reading this article though that prairie dogs were the chicken nuggets of the prairie and the plains. That you know, you want true ecosystem balance, bring back the prairie dog. Raptors, snakes, coyotes, foxes, wolves, they all ate prairie dog. Prairie dog colony was like Chick-fil-A. You can believe that. So, but they say that the prairie dog has been reduced to less than 5% of its original population. So but it's still not endangered. They're still thriving. Let's see if I can get up this. Yeah, baby. All right. A couple of these sections are a little tough. So let's talk about the weather. It's gonna be 98 degrees today, maybe 100, and that's like record heat. So I'm already feeling it. I would imagine it's in the high 80s right now. I wanted to get out earlier. I was too busy snake riding with it. So that's it. Feeling the heat for sure. But wanted to bust out a little bit of exercise before the yeah. Whew. I'm already feeling a little shaky. Tad shaky. Drink some water. Someone once asked me what my favorite beverage was. And I said it's hot water from a Camelback. Because that's when you need it most. That's about what you get. Hot water from a Camelback. So this is considered foothills riding. And this is a pretty standard ride in the foothills, I'd say. Rocky, ledgy. Yeah, baby. Good, got over that one. Man, you gotta be careful in this kind of heat. I was riding out in Sedona years ago in July, because that's when I used to go out there and get a place. And I'd ride early, really early. Try to be off trail by 11 or so. It gets hot as shit out there. And I always stopped resting as people rode up. We talked for a bit. As I was getting ready to ride away, the woman says, sir, come back. And I said, hey, what's up? And she said, do you have enough food and water? I said, sure. She said, how far are you going? Only about a mile or so till I'm off. She said, okay, be careful. I thought, that's strange. Why is she all of a sudden being Nurse Ratched? So I got back to the condo. I was telling Jamie about the people that were, do you have enough food and water? Are you gonna be okay? Jamie said, you were slurring so badly, I can barely understand you. So I didn't know, you know, that's how heat stroke occurs. You don't even know. You don't even know. Brain's frying. And you think you're just riding along. Next thing you know, they find you out in the desert. I try to avoid that when I can. I'll try and lift this up a little bit as I'm riding, which is stupid. And you guys, so we've climbed from that valley floor down there. And the uphill, the downhill is really pretty and fast, and we'll have a good time. So, yeah. But the heat's supposed to break today after it might set a record. And the next few days have a really good chance for storms, which we need. You can probably see how dry things are out here. And of course, we are always terrified by fire. Always. Actually, I'm kind of breathing the fumes right now. A little bit of smoke in the air from the Grand Junction fires. There's a couple of those burning. And those are roughly 300 miles away. But I can see the haze over the city right here. I'll stop up here and show you guys. Pull off the trail. Watch for rattlesnakes. And I don't know if you can see the haze, but definitely hazy. So there's the reservoir down there. It's Horsetooth. It's about 7 or 8 miles long and a couple miles at its deepest spot, going back into some of the coves, wide. A lot of coves, that's why it's such a great lake. You can get off the main body and go. All the coves are no wake, so you can paddleboard. I'm actually looking at a group of 4 paddleboarders right now. I don't know if they'll show up or not. Maybe if you zoom in. They're about head high. I'll try to lift this. Yeah, there you go. Maybe you can see that better. But that's about it. So yeah, speaking of rattlesnakes. So I was kind of leery because karma is real, and I've caught enough rattlesnakes in my life that they have certainly committed their revenge. And I got hit by a stingray, which is a venomous creature like a rattlesnake, in Isle of Palm, South Carolina. And within 15 seconds of it got me in the leg. I thought it was a shark bit me because the tail like wraps around your leg. And I felt this thing just go around my leg really quick and then penetrate my skin. You know, it's underwater. I'm like, what the? And I got out of the water, noticed there's a hole in my leg, and bleeding, and within 30 seconds I could tell the venom was going through me. And my wife says, "Why are you limping?" And I said, "Something with a neurotoxin just got me, because I'm Mr. Science." But, you know, being in the Army, you learn about that stuff. You do your nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare training. And I knew I had a neurotoxin. And I knew that I was probably in a little bit of trouble. And I called a buddy of mine. And I said, "Hey, something wrapped around my leg and punctured a hole in there." And he lives out there in South Carolina. He says, "Is your leg numb but throbbing?" That's pretty accurate. He said, "Buddy, that's a stingray." So is that bad? He goes, "Well, it ain't good." And I said, "Well, what do I do?" He says, "You get to the hospital, man, you can die." I know. He says, "I'm gonna call the hospital and tell them you're on the way." And he gave us the directions on how to get there. It was still, you know, we were out on the beach and still 25 minutes or so to get there. And by the time we got there, holy shit show. I was a mess. Screaming. It was really bad. And The pain was, I tell people this all the time, if I had a knife, I'd probably cut myself, my private bits off. Here comes a runner, hiker person. First person I've seen. Pause here. Getting it in before the world catches on fire, huh? Be careful. Yeah, you too, be careful. Okay. Yeah, ended up in the hospital. Morphine. They gave me morphine. I'd say I'm a lot of fun on morphine. In the hospital for about 8 hours. You know, they had to x-ray me and barbs and all that other stuff, you know. And I got out and got home, and nice beach house, you know, overlooking the ocean. Go up on the top deck, my morphine buzz. I was like, I'm gonna have a beer. Cracked open a beer, cold, delicious. Whoa, bad decision. Like the one sip of alcohol I had was like right to my head. I was like, how did Eric Clapton do this? That's literally what I said. How did Clapton manage to, I gotta concentrate here. It's a little bit dangerous. This section always throws me. Oh crap. Man, I used to clean this regularly. Now I suck. Nice view. There's the lake out there. I really like this Nick section. Man, it's hot. Definitely the hottest ride this year. Let me know if I'm slurring. All right, for those of you that are still on this ride, that's pretty quick. This is the ride that is closest to my house. So it's my home court. Just hard enough for a good workout, but not so much that I'll be gassed the whole day. So let's see. Next section is very flowy. A little climb here. Yeah, so this morning's snake encounter was nothing dangerous. Bull snake. No venom, but they bite you. You will know it. And they can be 6 feet long. The guy we got today was about 4 feet. I'll post a video. Whoa. Did I just run over a snake? I think I saw one at the corner of my eye. I have to rewind on that. Through the ravine, up the ravine, and this is the section I like. I like it all, but this little flow section along the cliff edge I think is very cool. Hope you guys are getting this view off to my left. Very beautiful. standing and pedaling up the hill. Feeling the hot air in the lungs. I think everyone knows that feeling. All right, so this is about the crest of this ride, I'd say. It kind of flows down the valley from here. So in case anyone's wondering too, these are officially the dog days of summer. From mid-July till the 1st of August are historically the hottest days of the year. At least in Colorado. So, let's see. Yep. So that's where we started, down there by the lake. And now you see we're climbing up to the pine trees, getting into the tree line. We're not going to go that high though. There are trails, several, that go that way, but I'm trying to get out and back and get on with my day. I really want to start recording some songs and get some ideas down. Any musicians out there that are hearing this, reach out and come on over. I'm pretty much retired right now. I mean, I've had a kind of career where friends have accused me of being retired forever. I've always owned my own biz since I got out of the service, but we're just about. Right now I do have a lot of time. I do feel I don't really have a purpose. You know, like I feel kind of unhinged out in the world. So we're officially started the downhill, by the way. Nothing too radical here. But we are, I could probably get to the bottom without making another pedal stroke. Except for maybe getting over a rock or two. But you gotta be careful, because you see all these rocks, how they stick up? They will grab your pedal, stop you dead. My pedals are hanging, you know, I got them parallel to the ground. But you gotta be careful. Some of my ugliest crashes have been that way. This is one of those sections right here. It gets a little bit more interesting. Someone asked me after the last video, my bike had brakes. I said, why are you going so fast? Hit the brakes. And I said, fast bike is a stable bike. A bike that's losing momentum is the bike that's more bound to crash. So you want to keep up as much of your speed as you can, and you know, just kind of absorb what the trail brings you. Go from there. This is a tricky section, but I nailed it today because you guys inspired me. That's actually probably one more tough section. That's it. Come on, baby. The hard part about this stuff now, for me, just, you know, I'm getting old, my neck freaking hurts. but it's still my second favorite recreational activity. All right. Hi guys. Is everyone enjoying this ride? Quick. There's two of these in a row that are they've gotten tougher over the years. There's a second one. He's just kind of dropping off, like it's going downstairs. That one we just did, a switchback. It used to be sketchy. Someone cleaned it out. So I could tell it's hot, you know, because my brakes are instantly hot, just using them a little bit. Heated up. So next switchback, I'm gonna stop and let them cool. And you notice how I'm not hitting the brakes now, I'm just jumping stuff. I don't want to overheat my brakes and not have them. Yeah. All right, a little tricky through here. I almost hit that wrong. Okay, here's my switchback where I'm going to get down to where it's smooth down here. Smoother. Please turn smoother. Okay, right here. This looks good. And I'm going to stretch. Oh. And there's a nice shot of the lake, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars here today. 11. Not bad for a big park. I think I might come back out here later and swim too. That kind of day. Maybe I'll do it right now. It's hot enough to swim right now. Beautiful. All right. Documenting my ride. We're half hour in. Who's gonna watch this? No one. Listen to me babble for half an hour. Right down that little turn there. The rest of the ride is pretty uneventful. But it's pretty, isn't it? Okay. So, what else is going on? Oh, I know. Bluegrass legend Tony Rice, deceased, rest in peace. One of his main guitars is up for sale. And I gotta tell you, I am quite interested. For those that don't know Tony Rice, in the 80s and 90s, he was just a legend. Just the Jimmy Page of bluegrass, the Eddie Van Halen of traditional music. And two famous guitars he played. One being very, very, I even know the serial number. I think it's 58597. It's a Martin. And it belonged to Clarence White. It got shot. It's got all this, but it's just, you know, it's considered the holy grail of Martin guitars. And the other one was a replica, not a replica, but a very fine handmade homage to his Martin D28 by Santa Cruz Guitar Company out in California, who makes phenomenal guitars. And they made him a Tony Rice model, loosely based on his D28, but with improvements that they thought would, you know, serve him better. And Tony used it for a couple years, recorded a couple albums with it.